Welcome to Holiday 09, I'm Victoria Lett. With the Oscar-tipped epic Australia currently cleaning up at the UK box office, the land of the Southern Cross looks more alluring than ever to winter-weary Brits in search of a sun-kissed vacation. Beautiful though it is, there's much more to the South Pacific than just Oz. So if you plan to travel there this year, you'll have to, of course, make a stopover en route, and Fiji is the perfect place to make the most of it all. Joining me to tell me about this and much more is Jane West from Tourism Fiji. Jane, a very warm welcome.
Bula Vinaka, Victoria.
Oh, what was that?
That's Fijian greetings. Only normally we have a flower in our hair.
Yeah.
We wear it on the right if we're married and on the left if we're unmarried.
Do you know what? I must secretly be a genius because I came in here when you went in the studio and I popped it right there on the left side of my head.
It's a very tropical greeting, isn't it?
How lovely. Yeah. Can you one more time and I'll see if I can...
Bula Vinaka.
Bula Vinaka. I mean, that could go horribly wrong if you don't know
Bula
what
is the easier way of saying it, and you'll hear it everywhere in Fiji, along with the Bula smile. Fijians are really the essence of Fiji, are the Fijian people. They're very warm, very hospitable.
How lovely. Right, we are going to get stuck into all of that. So I want to go to the very basics. I'm going to pretend that I'm going on holiday to Fiji because I've never been, sadly. If I was stepping off that plane, I was making my way to my resort or wherever I was staying, what sort of landscape could I expect to be seeing?
Well, the first thing that greets you, and it's always wonderful arriving at dawn, Fiji is exactly halfway around the world. It does take a long time to get there, I'm not going to lie to you, but it is a perfect stopover. It's very close to Australia and New Zealand and is commonly used by backpackers as a stopover, for example. But also it's just such an exotic paradise, something we dream of really from childhood, that when you arrive and the sun's shining, you're surrounded by volcanic mountains, lush landscape. Wow. Fiji is very fertile, very green, lots of flowing rivers. Fiji water, for example, is some of the purest water in the world, is exported worldwide. So it's generally a very safe country to visit, and it's just very pretty with all the tropical flowers as you make your way to your resort or island. And
I'm glad I know that now about the water, so I'll admit something to you, I'm very shallow, and I just drink those because I think they look pretty. So I'm actually doing something really good.
You're already on holiday.
I'm already on holiday. Right, so it's a beautiful place to go. If I want to go there just to relax and rejuvenate, would you say that's an ideal location for that?
Absolutely. I think the diversity of Fiji is incredible because with 333 islands, most of which are surrounded by fine white sand, but you also have so much adventure and interesting things to do, and it's a living culture. It's a very interesting place to visit as well.
Now, you're talking about it being a long flight. Sometimes it's worth making those flights, of course, to get that different sense of culture. So are we talking about a culture-heavy place? Is it very different to what we're used to, say, in England?
Absolutely. There are 700 chiefs, for example. So although they drive on the left and it was formerly part of the British colonies, 100 years ago, it wasn't always the friendliest place. For example, this is a cannibal tool.
She's turning on us, everyone. She's turning on us.
100 years ago, it was quite a fierce land, and if you were beaten, you were eaten. But now,
nice
I know that it is listed as one of the most friendly places in the world. And I have to say that it does deliver the dream. It certainly sounds great at dinner parties, if you're impressing your friends. Yeah. But if you're looking for a honeymoon or somewhere really romantic, a little bit off the beaten track, that offers, perfect beach situation, but also the cultural experience. Not everyone wants to be on a beach for 2 weeks. They need to know that there are things to do and lovely people to mix with as well.
Absolutely. I would say I'm sold already. I was sold when I saw the outfit. I'm there. If you need some persuasion though, have a look at this. We're going to show you a short film that shows you the beauty of this wonderful place. So Jane, take a look down there.
Bula, bula! My goodness me, that looks absolutely
absolutely breathtaking. Just a reminder for everyone at home, of course, if you want to ask Jane any questions whatsoever about Fiji, if you think about going, or maybe we're tempting you, then do pop your answers into the box, press submit, and we'll work very hard to get as many answered as we possibly can. So make sure you get those questions coming through. Now, I've got to say the dreaded two words, the words of the moment, credit crunch. Now, surely this is actually quite a good thing to do at the moment, to travel.
Well, certainly the fares have never been cheaper.
Yeah.
Certainly if you were to look at, for example, Qantas Holidays, they offer a superb stopover destination and fares are as little as £700 return, and you can build in other parts of the world as stopovers as well. But really the joy of Fiji is the fact that there are over 100 islands where there are different resorts, so you can stay in a village for £1 a night, right up to some of the top 20 most luxurious resorts in the world. You know, there's nothing more exciting than arriving on your honeymoon and flying to a private luxury retreat in a helicopter, but we all know that that's not always a reality for the rest of us, and therefore getting around is very cheap. You know, there's a great boat network there, great passes that you can buy where you can hop on, hop off, and the same with tours around the island too. And it really is as affordable or as luxurious as you want to make it.
So it can be bespoke and tailor-made, because of course lots of people at the moment are thinking, I want to get outside of Europe for my holiday, so it is worth maybe thinking about long haul and going somewhere a bit exotic. And
it is, and I think it's never been more within our reach. I think the choice of flights, for example, the new A380 with Qantas is just launching this weekend and will offer an excellent form of comfort, and they connect with Air Pacific. Air Pacific is our national carrier. They're the planes with the islands painted on the sides. You're really on holiday the moment you get on board, and people have a very island style attitude. But it's not just a holiday. I think people need to consider it as an opportunity of a lifetime, because it's such an exotic experience, but one that never leaves your heart. I started travelling to Fiji nearly 15 years ago, and it's like a love affair. Each time I go, I find more and more things to do, and I enjoy it all the more.
it just sounds so lovely. I wish we could be there right now. Now, we're talking a lot about how relaxing it is and how fun it is. So presumably if you are there with your other half, you can have a really beautiful time just enjoying life together. What if someone like me went, you know, a real adventurer? Not really, but you know, I want to go and I want to dive and I want to do all sorts of exciting activities. Will it cater for my type?
Absolutely. I bet you've never been on a shark dive before.
No, for obvious reasons.
No, there are some great activities. For example, you can zip line over the forest canopy.
Wow.
One of the biggest surf waves is in Fiji, called Cloud Break. So there's some quite high adrenaline sports, shot over boats, going through the villages sometimes. So again, always combining some form of culture and experience at the same time. But of course, for those of us who like to lie on a beach, you know, there's hundreds of palm trees with hammocks, and the sunsets are gorgeous, of course.
I have to say, I fall into that category.
The hardest thing is coming home.
I can imagine. I mean, it sounds like the type of place when you're there, it's like, why do I live anywhere else? I'm going to stay here forever.
It's very tempting.
So if I wanted to go with a group of girls, would it be still quite a good thing for me to do that? Lots for us to do nightlife and...
Yes, the nightlife is more in the culture and what's provided by the resort. One of the things that Fijians love to do is make music and food. With the music, they have this lally drum, which is you know, great fun, but also the carver ceremony, which is a wooden bowl. It centres around a wooden bowl on a mat on the floor, and they make a drink which is served in a coconut shell.